in a way, a lot of things happened in a very non-linear way. And I think, but a lot of those, let's say, things that were set into motion were because, of course, at a certain age, when you're young, when you enjoy doing something from a particular perspective, and let's say you become good at it, it becomes fluent. But I think when it comes to, let's say, becoming not just a virtuoso, but an all-encompassing musician, and a serious musician at that, is when, for me at least, I recognized there was a moment when I was 16 or 17 when suddenly music making became personal. That it wasn't just a fun activity anymore, or in some cases what felt like a chore or an obligation, or just something that you do as extracurricular activity, whatever it might be, but it just suddenly became a necessity for life, for living, for the exploration of yourself, and just a necessity for growing up as well. So I think the most, what I could say from that is just the most important thing is to and I think a lot of it happens not only, of course, with music education, the importance of that, but also the importance of the mindset that you have when you practice. I know that, of course, when you're young, practicing may not be the most natural thing, may not be the thing that you want to do the most. But I think it's a worthwhile thing to find pleasure in the little details.
Yeah.
To be very to just find fascination with things that, over a period of time you may take for granted or you may get used to. But I think it's that mindset of fascination, of constantly being, that pleasure that also drives, I guess, the the want to get better and the want to explore more. And so that's what I would say. Just take pleasure in the little details, and to really find a personal relationship with the music. Find perhaps music that you love to play. Work towards pieces of music that you would love to play. It's a really fun process. I think it's really stimulating, and it also allows me to free myself, I guess, in many different ways, and also free myself from the instrument as well. So I think that's actually something that um, very much throughout is a general goal, is to, in a way, when you make music, to transcend the instrument, or to make yourself or other people forget about the instrument, but just to behold the music itself or the idea itself. And I think doing arrangements and letting my mind run like this, I think is a great way of reinforcing that. So everything kind of has this release to it. I think that's a lot of a big key to sound production, especially the projection, let's say in a concert hall, is that it's basically releasing a lot of the energy that's built up, not just sort of transferring it onto the instrument with force, so to say, but to find the way through not just relaxation, but controlled use of tension as well. I mean, that's a very big, it's a controlled release of tension that can create that kind of release in the sound. Just look inward and look at my own body and try and really sort of understand certain things for myself, without, of course, having it be like a constant obsession. But I think it was more just like a way to cope with myself, like to always, I think, of course, with artists, I think we're always in a contest with ourselves. We're always very much looking at ourselves with a critical point of view, you know, and this was just a way, I guess, to process that in a healthy way. And so a lot of this technical work, and also just the technical setup, and you could even say, I guess, the technical style as well, and the way I do things stems very much from that. It's just the general idea of finding myself in times when you feel the necessity to, because you're losing yourself. You had one version of yourself, for example, when you were a so-called young kid, young prodigy or whatever. But then that would fade away. Then you would have to find what is really the essence within yourself. And so I think, you know, the technical aspect, the analytical side of playing was just one aspect of that.